Every piece of saving advice on the internet tells you the same three things: make a budget, cut your coffee, and stop eating out. And I'm here to tell you, respectfully, that is terrible advice. Not because budgets are bad, but because those tips treat the symptom and completely ignore the disease. And the disease? It's not your spending habits. It's the fact that your brain is biologically wired to be terrible with money. And until you understand that, no spreadsheet in the world is going to save you. So in this video, we're going to fix the actual problem. Here's how. My name is Natal, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people who want to save money still can't make it happen. If you're someone who makes a decent living, or at least enough to survive, but still can't seem to build even a basic financial cushion, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. All right. Let's get one thing out of the way immediately, because I hear this all the time. Natal, I'd love to save money, but I just don't make enough. Here's the thing. That is sometimes true. But, and I need you to really hear this, more often than not, it's not an income problem. It's a system problem. Look, the average American earns around $56,000 a year. That's about $4,667 a month before taxes. After taxes, let's call it around $3,600 take home for a typical single adult. Now, do you genuinely believe it's impossible to put aside $2.75 a day out of $3,600 a month? Because that's all it takes. $2.75 a day equals roughly $84 a month equals $1,000 in just under 12 months. The money is usually there. The system isn't. And before you say, okay, Natal, but I'm really different, let me show you how widespread this problem actually is. According to a 2025 survey reported by Investopedia and Lending Club, 67% of Americans are currently living paycheck to paycheck. That's not a minority. That's 2 out of every 3 people you pass on the street. And here's the one that really gets me. The Federal Reserve's 2024 Economic Well-Being Report found that only 48% of American adults could cover an unexpected expense of $2,000 using savings. That means more than half of the country is one car breakdown, one hospital bill, one emergency away from financial disaster. Think about that for a second. We live in the wealthiest nation in human history, and more than half of the population doesn't have a $2,000 cushion. This is where it gets really interesting, though. It's not because people don't know they should save. Every single person watching this right now knows saving is important. The reason it doesn't happen is psychological, and once you understand why your brain fights against saving, you can actually do something about it. Behavioral economists, the people who study the psychology behind financial decisions, have a term called present bias. Here's a simple way to think about it. If I offered you $100 today or $110 next week, most people take the $100 today, even though waiting 7 days earns them 10% more. Your brain massively overvalues the present moment and undervalues the future. This is why "I'll save more next month" is one of the most dangerous sentences in personal finance. Your future self feels like a stranger, and we don't make sacrifices for strangers. There's also something called mental accounting, where we treat money differently depending on where it came from. Tax refund feels like free money, blown in a weekend. Regular paycheck feels precious. We stress about every dollar. They're the same dollars, but our brain doesn't treat them that way. And here's the kicker: loss aversion. Studies by Nobel Prize-winning economist Daniel Kahneman showed that psychologically, losing $50 hurts roughly twice as much as gaining $50 feels good. So when you think about putting $100 into savings, your brain literally processes it as losing $100 today, even though you're just moving your own money. This is why willpower alone will never work. You cannot outrun your own brain with sheer determination. You need a system that removes the decision entirely. Okay, so let's get into the actual steps. And I want to be clear, these aren't generic tips like stop buying coffee. This is a real framework built around both the math and the psychology of saving. Step 1. Do the bleed audit. About 3 minutes of your time. Before you can save money, you need to know where it's bleeding out. Here's what I want you to do. Go through your last 30 days of bank and credit card statements and highlight every subscription or recurring charge, all of them. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, that gym membership you haven't used since January, the app you downloaded for $12.99 that you opened twice. Now, you might be thinking, come on, it's only a few dollars. But here's what most people don't realize. The average American spends between $219 and $329 per month on subscriptions and consistently underestimates that number by about 80%. If you cut even half of unused subscriptions, say $80 to $100 a month, you've just found 10% of your $1,000 goal without changing a single spending habit. That's your first win. And wins matter because they build momentum. Step 2, pay yourself first automatically. This is the most powerful shift you can make. And it sounds simple, but almost nobody actually does it correctly. The moment your paycheck lands, before you pay a single bill, before you touch a dollar, transfer a fixed amount directly to a separate savings account, not a savings goal tab inside your current account, a separate account, ideally at a different bank with no debit card attached. Here's the analogy I love. Think of your savings like paying rent. You don't decide each month whether you feel like paying rent. It just happens. Your savings need to work the same way. Set it to $50 per paycheck to start. That's it. $50 bi-weekly equals $1,300 a year. You hit your $1,000 goal in under 9 months before you've done anything else. Now, combine this with the bleed audit, you might hit $1,000 in 4 to 6 months. Step 3, the 24-hour rule for non-essential purchases. This one is almost embarrassingly simple, but the research behind it is rock solid. Every time you're about to make a non-essential purchase above $20, clothes, gadgets, a dinner out, anything impulsive, wait 24 hours. That's it. Just sleep on it. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology found that a simple cooling off period reduces impulse purchases by up to 24%. Why? Because most impulse buying is driven by an emotional spike, excitement, boredom, stress, and 24 hours later, the emotional urgency has passed. If after 24 hours you still want it and you've budgeted for it, buy it, guilt-free. But I promise you, at least 30 to 40% of the time, you won't want it anymore. Step 4, deploy the found money strategy. This is where it gets really interesting and honestly, one of my favorite tactics. Found money is any money that comes to you outside your normal expected income. Tax refund, birthday cash from a relative, a small bonus at work, a selling something you don't use anymore on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, a rebate check you forgot about. Here's the rule. 100% of found money goes straight to savings, no exceptions. Why does this work so well psychologically? Because you never mentally incorporated that money into your budget. It doesn't feel like a loss to save it because you weren't counting on it to begin with. Remember loss aversion? This bypasses it entirely. The average federal tax refund in 2024 was approximately $3,138, according to the IRS. If you're someone getting a tax refund and you've been spending it every year, you've been blowing past your $1,000 goal 3 times over without realizing it. Step 5, the micro savings stacking method. If you're on an extremely tight budget and even $50 per paycheck feels impossible, here's your entry point. Start with $5 a day. Pick one category of daily spending, coffee runs, vending machines, food delivery fees, whatever your personal weakness is, and redirect just $5 a day to savings. $5 a day times 30 days is $150 a month. $150 times 7 months is $1,050. Done. Doesn't sound glamorous, I know, but here's the thing about your first $1,000. It's not about the $1,000. It's about the identity shift that happens when you become someone who saves. Because once you've done it once, every financial goal after that feels less impossible. Here's what most people don't realize about saving your first $1,000. It functions as something researchers call a financial buffer, and having even a small one changes your behavior in ways that compound dramatically over time. A study by the Urban Institute found that families with just $250 to $749 in liquid savings were significantly less likely to miss a rent payment, fall behind on utilities, or take on high-interest debt after an unexpected expense, compared to families with no savings at all. Think about that for a second. You don't need to be rich to be financially stable. You just need a buffer, and $1,000 is that buffer. Because right now, every time something unexpected happens, the car needs a repair, a medical bill arrives, what do most people do? They put it on a credit card at 22%, 24%, sometimes 29% interest. And now they're not just broke, they're going backwards. Your first $1,000 in savings is the wall between you and that cycle. Look, I want to be real with you for a second. Nobody is coming to fix your finances for you. Not the government, not your employer, not a viral side hustle. The only person who is going to build your financial foundation is you. And the beautiful thing, and I genuinely mean this, is that it does not require a high income, a finance degree, or some complicated strategy. It requires a system, and now you have one. Do the bleed audit this week. Set up a separate savings account, automate $50 or $25 or even $10 before you touch anything else. Apply the 24-hour rule, stack your found money, and watch what happens to how you feel about money in the next 90 days. Your first $1,000 isn't just a number, it's proof to yourself that you are capable of building the life you keep saying you want. That's the one that matters most. Once you save $1,000, watch my Thursday video on where to invest it.